Hey, what's going on? I'm Sam, and I want to talk about starting to invest today. When I talk about investing, I'm talking about buying and holding stocks for the long term versus trading, which would be shorter term buy, sell, swing trading, anything like that, options trading. I'm specifically talking about growing an account, mostly for retirement. I'm going to try and explain this as best I can, but it's mostly just my opinion, and I really don't know it all. And I try not to pretend to. One thing I've been asked and I've seen people talking about is it a good time to start investing right now in these market conditions? It seems like some people are afraid to buy stock right now because we've already hit some massive lows and we've already recovered some. So they're afraid we might have already hit the bottom and they missed a good entry point. And other people think that there's still a huge bottom left to hit and they don't want to buy stocks right now because they're waiting for that entry point. Now, it's almost impossible to time the market like that. There's definitely a lot of speculation both ways, but it really doesn't matter whether the market dips down or not because we're talking about very, very long-term investments. And for these investments, the best time to start is right now. Although I would also say it's not very advisable to put all your money in at once because the market can fluctuate. If you had a large amount of cash you wanted to invest, what you can do is spread your investments over a few weeks. Let's say invest about 5% every week or two. Otherwise, you should just make very consistent deposits of amounts you can afford. But the larger you can afford, the better, just because it's going to add up quickly when you're looking at 40 or 60 years out. That way, no matter what the market's doing, you're injecting cash just consistently. So you're going to catch some highs, catch some lows, but the most important thing is to start putting in cash now. I was reading a report a while ago about how our generation is very unprepared for retirement because they're not investing as much as past generations. And to me, the way to combat this is investing as easily as possible. Even though I use Robinhood for all my trading, I don't really use it for investing. There's 3 apps that I really like for my investment apps. And these apps do very specific things for me. The first one is M1 Finance. I really like it for my long-term portfolio. I'm not a huge fan of their pie chart setup, but it is a very good place for me to put my money in, park it, and just not really worry about what's happening to it. I also have a traditional Roth IRA through my bank, even though I don't use that as much as I should. So I use M1 Finance for any extra cash that I want to invest. The next app I use is Acorns. Acorns will round up all your purchases to the next dollar and start saving that money for you. It's a really painless way to start saving extra chunks of change. That money's invested, though you don't really have much of a choice on how that's invested. And that brings me to the last app that I use, which is Stash. I really like Stash because I can set weekly deposits. I think I'm at about $25 a week, and I don't really notice that coming out of my account, but it adds up relatively quickly. You can choose what kind of stocks these are invested in, though it's not the most specific, it's more sectors, which is great because it diversifies for you. When you have these scheduled deposits, you'd be very surprised how quickly those amounts add up and your investments start growing. If you have 401k matching at your work, the best thing you could do is take advantage of that because it's literally free money. Because if you can start saving money, you can really set yourself up for the future. And that's something a lot of us don't think about right now. The keys are consistency and diversification, where you consistently add money to your account and not just put in money and leave it. And diversification comes into play where you're holding a range of different stocks instead of one stock or all stocks in the same sector. Because if all you're holding is airline stocks, you're going to have a really bad time. And the earlier you start investing, the better, as your money could start doubling every 10 years at a 7% return. I think it's about 10 years. So if you haven't started investing, you really should think about investing now. You could open up a Stash account and just start watching it grow. Open up a M1 Finance account and play with that. Or you could even open up a Robinhood account and start there. But it really doesn't matter what broker you use as long as you just start investing. Now that I think about it, it's probably time for me to open up an IRA account through TD Ameritrade. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. Definitely leave a like, that helps me out a lot, and I will see you in the next one. Yeah, if I could take some of these profits and put that in a Roth IRA, that would be smart. Now's the time to do that. Just watch that grow and keep putting money in.